Hey YouTube, welcome back. This is Sonia, your host. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're good. One thing I've got to preface this with before I begin, I am short form challenged. This will be a longer video, so get comfy, put me on in the background while you get stuff done, and let's begin. So as you can see from my thumbnail, this video will be discussing MIKAYLA NOGUEIRA. And to be clear, this isn't to drag anybody, send or direct hate toward her or anything of that nature. This is more consumer focused, so I'll be touching on what I believe to be, across several videos, marketing manipulation used primarily to get you, the consumer, to hand over your money and purchase what she's selling. I'll be coming from an objective and somewhat critical standpoint. I am indifferent toward MIKAYLA. I have plans to follow some of her get ready with me's, do some MIKAYLA inspired looks. So I do want to preface this with, I can say several positive things about MIKAYLA and her place within the beauty community. Objectively, I also find her hilarious, witty, and quite clearly, she's very successful. Starting from the beginning. The culture of beauty and the culture of makeup has always been centered around a basis of manipulation. In fact, all sales do, from the supermarket to big pharma, convincing you need this, you will look better with this, wearing this, look better in this, or owning this, etc. Therefore, it's safe to say marketing in general, in its simplest form, is simply manipulation, be it by showcasing offers, using a name, a face, a legacy brand like L'Oreal or Chanel, photographs, airbrushing, popularity, models, actors or other famous or infamous individuals. Even drama is a cool marketing tool. Long term, not so much, but it works because it stirs emotion. Take a look at Jeffree Star and the rise of his career, for example. To be able to sell anybody anything, you must first convince them that they need it or that they should want it. Creating the fear of missing out pushes consumers into making a purchase much more than a special one-day only offer. FOMO is powerful, as many of us learned as influencers and their limited edition collections launched. So the convincing the consumer they need it equals manipulation. You are influenced into buying it because you are being convinced, for whatever reason, you must purchase it. Aside from FOMO, using a form of manipulation called relatability, i.e. in the anti-aging category, or in the case of charities, be they about poverty, people living on the streets, or animal welfare, all use powerful visual imagery to, one, make you relate on an emotional level, and two, to help you take that money out of your purse. Business and emotion in general are at opposite ends, generally speaking, of two entirely different spectrums, i.e. never mix business with pleasure. That's what it's based upon, and why typically a warning of loaning money to family or friends without a clear verbal agreement isn't advisable. Keep business as business is how it goes. Which is why, whilst watching Rich Lux's video earlier, which was Saturday for me, about MIKAYLA, where he covered her using her skincare line, and I'm going to call it skincare as someone who went to beauty school, did beauty therapy and makeup artistry. Skin prep, any kind of skin prep, is a form of skincare. Okay, so I don't want to be in this argument of it's skin prep, it's not skincare, it's skincare. This situation jumped out to me personally, which is why I'm here discussing it. I think several things are worth noting. One, many of these beauty influencers, unfortunately, MIKAYLA being one of them, i.e. #Lashgate, choose not to give answers during critical situations they find themselves in, and not respond to their audience, fans and stans, when it suits them. So for me, that does equate to a lack of personal ethics and professionalism. They simply tell us, or people will just say, it's just business. They don't have to explain anything. They can omit the truth, blatantly lie, smudge facts, dodge questions, and it's usually always a case of feelings don't matter. If you don't like it, don't watch. Feelings don't matter in business.
Respectful here. I do want to say that in her video, the only thing that I did not like is that she was applying her brand Point of View Beauty in it. And when she did that, I had to dock some points because I felt like this is about you and Cody and your audience. The minute I saw you pick up that lipstick and put it on, I just felt like this was some type of marketing that I'm sorry if I offend y'all, but I'm Rich Loves, I keep it real. And that's how I felt about it when I did see it. So let's roll the clip. Here we go, roll it.
My husband Cody is in rehab, and I'm ready to talk about it. Cody's story is not mine to share, but he has given me his blessing to talk about it today. I want to start off by saying I am incredibly proud of Cody. It takes an immense amount of courage to give up your will and enter treatment, and I could not be more proud. As many of you have noticed, for the last several months, Cody really has not been around, and now you know why. A lot of you have put two and two together. Many of my longtime loyal followers, Cody being an addict is not news. He has shared his story openly on TikTok. Cody has struggled with addiction from a very young age, and I knew Cody was an addict when I met him. When I met him, he was living in sober living, and he had just gotten out of rehab. He moved from Nevada to Massachusetts to go to treatment here, and the only reason he stayed is because he met me. Understand, sobriety, recovery, is not linear. Addiction is a disease, and it's very complex, and unless you yourself or someone very close to you has struggled with addiction, it's hard to understand. Relapsing is a part of the recovery process, not a failure. January 2024, my husband relapsed on drugs. In April 2024, my husband relapsed on alcohol. I am not new to addiction or addicts, but what I am new to is marrying one. And putting on a brave face the entire year of 2024 was the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. There's a reason addiction is known as a family disease, because it doesn't just impact the individual, it impacts everyone around them. 2024, I faced some of the scariest nights of my life. I'm talking calling the police because I'm scared my husband's gonna die. To anyone who has had a spouse or a family member who struggles with addiction, you know what I mean when I say, I didn't know who that person was anymore. I figured I was gonna cry at some point in this. Addiction's really fucking bad, guys. Whether it's you facing it or the people around you. Sure, many of you remember I had a little bit of a mental breakdown in December. I watched his addiction worsen, and it became so hard in our home. And I had to make the really difficult decision to remove Cody from our home. He ended up getting his own apartment, and I said, you need to figure it out. Because as much as I can try to get Cody to want to be sober, he has to want to be sober. The addict is the one who has to get sober. Because I was so scared that if he overdosed or hurt himself, I wouldn't have a way to get in. So I secretly took a key and I didn't tell him. Like, that's the shit. That's how hard this shit is. 2024, I'm begging Cody to go to rehab or get help or anything, but you cannot make an addict want to get help. They have to want it themselves and call from Cody. And he says, I'm done and I'm going to rehab. I can't explain the feeling of sleepless nights every night, worried about my husband, to knowing that over the last month and a half, he's been in a safe place, getting treatment and getting help and finding his path to sobriety. Like, shit's fucking crazy. Easy to judge addicts. There are so many stereotypes. They lie, cheat, steal, manipulate. Cody is the kindest, sweetest, most selfless, intelligent person I've ever met. And to watch someone struggle with addiction who, like, damn well doesn't deserve it is really difficult. The question is, what's next? Support however long Cody wants.
You could say it could be a PR stunt, marketing. The dates are very much in line. Today's April 4th. There's this whole TikTok ban that's supposed to happen April 5th. And it just seems like the launch of her skincare, and then the fact that she was going through something but couldn't talk about it in December and January, was like hyping up the skincare brand and hyping this up before the deadline of TikTok. And that's what I wanted to say, is that it does come across slightly performative.
So, to add, to me personally, I have lines and personal boundaries when it comes to businesses and their practices and ethics as I come to learn them and what they align with. If I'm made aware of new information, for example, as I was many years ago about Starbucks, I will stop sending them my money and quit purchasing their products. If you're not this way, more power to you. It's a personal thing for each of us. This is my perspective. So you may not agree. That's your right. Here is my channel meant for whatever I want to talk about or discuss. So if you are a hardcore fan of MIKAYLA's and you don't like to hear me expressing an objective but negative opinion, maybe sit this one out. It's all good. So I watched Rich Lux's video and he's reacting to MIKAYLA, and his issue, similar to mine, is that MIKAYLA is discussing her husband being in rehab. And Rich felt her using her brand's lip ampule specifically while talking about such a serious situation was like an ad, and he wasn't good with it. As she's using the lip product, the name of it is perfectly facing the viewer, and he had some thoughts on it. I'll link his video in the description. I love Rich Lux, so check him out if you're not already subbed. So many things jumped out to me whilst watching it, so I screen recorded the parts relevant to my opinions, and here we are.
And I have to, let me fire up my camera. I have to keep it real. Part of it does come across slightly performative. You might hear some noise, so just bear with me, guys. There's another sale at Sephora. Wow. The video, she seems very like played down. She doesn't have her makeup on. It's a different vibe. This is one day after the alleged TikTok ban is supposed to happen, right? So I find that interesting. Like the day before the ban happens, this video drops. In December and January, she had mentioned that she was going through something, she couldn't talk about it. But she says those things, right? But at the same time, there is videos of her and photos of her drinking alcohol, posting it on her Instagram stories, posting it on her TikTok videos. And I just feel like if your partner is in rehab, you should not be popping open Patron bottles, which I have videos of her doing that. You should be a little bit more respectful and not do those things. If your partner is in rehab, you should not be partaking in those activities that could trigger your partner who's in rehab, because they can look at it like, man, it looks so good. I could just want one sip. So that's the criticism, is those past videos of her doing that, right? So I made the TikTok video, which I just posted, expressing my condolences, love, with peace and love to MIKAYLA and Cody. First comment, you're obsessed. Leave her alone. You shouldn't be talking about that. Whoa. With peace and love to MIKAYLA and Cody. First comment, you're obsessed. Leave her alone. You shouldn't be talking about that. Whoa. You, with 16 million followers, Cassie, I need you to go touch some grass, baby. With peace and love, right? The video was very respectful. It was very well done. It was heartfelt and it was real. My video to MIKAYLA, I just posted on TikTok. First comment, you're a hater. I'm literally talking to MIKAYLA in my TikTok video and saying that I wish her the best and I'm sorry about what her and Cody are going through and giving her strength and love. First comment, you're a hater.
You're a hater.
Huh? Got it. There's people right here. I'm live right now. There's this Loco Rose. You are a hater. You know what? I'm gonna mute you. You're muted. Just zap you out of here. You know what? I'm already getting so much hate. Like, I'm live on TikTok, and YouTube's a totally different audience. So I'm live on TikTok, and I already see all the hate in the comments for me just speaking my opinion. So we're gonna go to there you go. Sub only live.
The irony here is he's having a critical, objective opinion expressing no hate. He's being called a hater by those in the chat that are actually hating. You can't make this shit up.
MIKAYLA drops her video. She's talking about, Cody going through rehab. It's sad because rehab is expensive, honey. You're talking about $30,000. That's bottom of the barrel. Bottom of the barrel rehab. And there's no chance, there's no guarantee that it would actually work. That's why I said in my video, I'm sending MIKAYLA and Cody peace and love, and that I hope, they both get through it, and sending them lots of strength, right? In her video, when she said, in any drama channels who talk about this, there is a place in hell for you. Well, listen, I'm gonna keep it real. You have 16 million followers. You put out a dramatic video like that. People are gonna talk about it. Hopefully they talk more on the positive side, like I did in my TikTok video. The first comment was, you're a hater. When I literally said, I wish MIKAYLA love and light and the strength that her and Cody need to get through this. First comment, you're a hater. It's like people watch videos with confirmation bias. They already know what they're gonna type before they even watch the video.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say here, first off, MIKAYLA, please remember, guys, she had to get her lights ready, angle her camera, set up and line up all her products, which she uses all of her skincare line during this vid. And some of you might think, well, why wouldn't she? It just launched. Her TikTok is where she showcases everything she uses. But hold on, I'm getting there. So she had to rehearse what she wanted to say, consider how she wanted to come across, choose her makeup, decide a look, and as Rich said, why are you putting on makeup while crying, then reapplying, then crying? I.e., she could have just had a chat or just used the skincare. For me, it was all calculated and nothing more than a marketing strategy. There is nothing natural about all the oversharing and simultaneously mixing business with emotion. It wasn't accidental. I've known many people in my real life able to turn on the tears. So the crying, for me personally, isn't proof of authenticity. Linking business with emotion is always manipulation, period. The excuse she gave, or justification, was that people had an idea her partner, Cody, was in rehab. She even shows a comment somebody allegedly left, and this TikTok of hers was in response to that. Well, if you go back to what I said earlier, these influencers, many times, i.e. Lashgate, refuse to answer their audience about serious things and situations that they find themselves in that look real bad. They shut us down, and if you don't like it, you can leave. It's business. Her partner being in rehab, or any of the speculation, didn't actually require a denial or any confirmation. It's none of anybody's business, period. These influencers, as a part of their job, calculate and weigh up everything as part of their job. Their jump cuts, edits, topics, omissions, and any admittance. So I personally find the whole video very conceited and 100% calculated. And I know it's so hard for people when they feel as though they know an influencer to discern them objectively and be critical and discern them without using emotion. Influencers use this to their advantage because when your mind is in the emotional brain, you've got two brains, your emotional brain, your logical brain. When you're in the emotional brain, you lose reasoning skills, you struggle to make good decisions, you miss red flags, and you're easier to manipulate. Cluster B personalities especially use empathy and sympathy to hold on to their partners for so long for a reason. The emotional connection is a game changer. MIKAYLA has her audience believing that she is confiding in them and sharing something painfully emotional to her. Logically speaking, though, setting up the two together, the emotional topic and her skincare line, as the props she just happens to be using, do I think this was an accident? No. 100% no. From all the introduction and the points I've made prior to this part. If you feel you have a bond or a shared experience with someone, you drop your guard and you overlook red flags, and you will, without doubt, give them more chances than you would, say, if this was a vague acquaintance. From a business influencer point of view, oh, the irony, your point of view is being distorted. If you feel bonded, you will support the business harder. And what does that equate to? It means you will, without doubt, make the purchase. If you were someone in the middle, right? Even if you were someone in the middle, sorry, you're more likely to be swayed by that kind of an advert, because that's what I believe it was, an advert. If you were someone, like every human in the Western world just about knows someone or had or has a family member or friend who has struggled with addiction. I find it all highly manipulative. It's using relatability. You can relate to me. I go through the same things you may have gone through, okay? Knowing that so many of us do go through something similar during the course of our lives. The brand uses a very deep, relatable topic to encourage an affectionate bond, a parasocial attachment as a marketing strategy, because if this is just business, there's no room for this kind of a subject. Using supposed vulnerability is purposeful. I find her older videos where she hints she's really going through it but just can't talk about it also manipulative. This latest vid, though, sealed the deal with me reacting to it and giving some commentary from a consumer viewpoint. It's icky and I really don't like it.
Hold on, bear with me, guys.
Cody is in rehab, and I'm ready to talk about it. Cody's
Right there. My husband Cody is in rehab, and I'm ready to talk about it.
Sorry, he was just showing her using the lip ampule and it's all directly aimed towards the camera. Anyway, that's my opinions, all of them expressed. Share yours below. Consider subscribing, leave me a like, and catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.